Hello and welcome back if you are new here. I might as well be new here because it has been almost a year since I have posted on this channel. Today's video is the 5 reflections that I've had since leaving teaching. I've wanted to make this video for a while, but I just haven't found the right time, even though I love it. It's a part of my life, it's a part of my husband's life. My husband is a cinematographer, he owns his own company, he makes videos for a living. And so naturally I find interest in that. A long-winded introduction, but here are the 5 reflections I have since leaving the classroom almost a year ago. My number 1 reflection since leaving teaching is the work-life balance. I know that's very cliche because if you're a teacher or know a teacher, you know that they probably do not have a great work-life balance. I would be prone to responding to a parent at 8 o'clock at night. I would bring things home to grade. The list goes on and on. We know that teachers bring a lot home and that their work-life balance is not always the best. The work-life balance of working from home can be really great. The one thing though, you are working in the space you live in. So you have to find a balance there. Although my work doesn't typically go past 5, it's still here. Although leaving teaching has been great for my mental health, as a reminder, I've had to really teach myself that, hey, it's 5 o'clock, I need to stop, and it's okay. That is the number 1 thing I love about my job, is knowing, hey, it will be there tomorrow. Obviously, if there's a very tight deadline and me and my team we're not able to reach it and it has to be done for tomorrow, I will work over. I have worked over, but overall, being able to stop at 5 and have the separation between home and work has been one of the best things to come out of this year. Number 2, the skills that you've learned while teaching can carry over into another field. I had the biggest set of imposter syndrome going into this job, because it is scary. I was in my routine of teaching. I knew what I needed to do. I knew my students. I knew my routine. Going into a new field is scary. It's scary for anybody that is transitioning into a new job, I'm sure. But the number 1 thing that I've learned is teachers know how to be adaptable, as well as a lot of the skills that you have from teaching can carry over into another field. Some background. I got hired to be a customer success manager for my company with the stipulation of I would be working as a data analyst the first 7 to 9 months of my job. The reason for that was I was doing contract work with this company this summer before I got hired as a data analyst, so I already had those skills. I didn't have those skills necessarily when I got the contract job. I was able to learn those skills and adapt them into my role, and now I've also been able to do the same as I've transitioned into my customer success role. As a customer success manager, I feel like our skills are even more prominent in this field, and the reason for that is teachers typically love to talk. You're talking all day, you're teaching somebody something, and that is what I'm doing in this role, and I love it. So again, number 2 is your skills from teaching can carry you into your next position. Number 3, and although I've had this year to reflect on this is something I really struggled with when I started sort of thinking about leaving teaching and expanding in my career within education, was I have the skills, I can get the job. Well, the job did not come as quickly as I thought it would. That being said, in number 2, I mentioned I did a contract job for a summer. That contract job really helped me get my full-time job. What I mean by that is I had a connection at the company, but they were able to help me get the contract job. And so that summer I got to prove myself and my skills from the classroom, and was helping with some of the backlog that the company had at the time, allowed me to get my foot in the door. Although I still went back and taught that August, at that point I was really sort of getting the itch of, I like what I'm doing, I kind of want to keep doing it, but there's nothing full-time open right now. So what I did was I worked the contract job some during that fall semester. And that was really hard because I would have to sometimes sacrifice my weekends or sacrifice a weeknight to work for that company and gain a few hours per week to keep my name relevant. And although that it can be really, really hard, we know a lot of times teachers typically will have to have 2 jobs anyways. But keeping my name relevant and staying apart and making connections was the #1 thing that helped me get my current job. Be afraid to find a contract position within a company that you're interested in. I do not think I would have the job I have now if I did not do that summer contract work. Really, probably a 1.5 years of trying to get a job within the edtech world, because that's where I knew I wanted to extend my career in education. #4, I left teaching mid-year, which is very taboo. That was the hardest thing I did last year. Leaving my students mid-year was such a pain point for me because I felt like I was doing a disservice to my students. But my #4 is your life matters too. What I mean by that is, although I felt like I was disappointing all 75 of my students, their parents, my admin, my co-teachers, everyone around me, your life matters too. I had to truly think about what was best for me, what was best for my husband, what was best for the life that we want to live. Being able to see a salary increase, being able to see benefits increase, I knew I would have regrets if I didn't take that job. So again, your life matters, what you want matters, even if it does come with some pain points. My 5th reflection of this year is you can still be involved in education. What I mean by that is, yes, I've already said I got a job in edtech. I'm still in education. I'm honestly working even deeper within education than I was in the classroom. Thursday, I still get to go see the cutest little 1st graders, which is quite different than the 5th graders I taught for 4 years. But I still get to be involved with students. And that fills my week, every single week. Being able to go to the classroom, see students, read a story to them, do a lesson with them, help them learn, and find the joy I have with working with students, even if I am now more behind the scenes in education. You can still be involved in education in so many different ways. So do not let that discourage you when you are thinking about maybe finding a job outside of teaching. I miss the students terribly. I had a lot of FOMO leaving teaching last year because I had to watch a whole new teacher come in and be the teacher to my students. That was hard. And I am so happy that I found this opportunity, am able to do it weekly, and have the best class to work with. These are my 5 reflections since leaving teaching last January. Please let me know down in the chat what questions you have about leaving teaching. I can definitely do a more in-depth video. I also actually have a video from last year when I left teaching called, I think, my last week of teaching, where I did like a talking head as well as some B-roll and all of that fun stuff. I actually have not had the courage to rewatch it yet because I know it's going to make me sad. But again, there has been way more joy this past year than sadness. So all that to say, you can do it. And me sitting here right now is not saying like, boo teaching. I work with teachers, I work with districts. I just work in education in a different way now, and I love it. And I think this is truly where I'm called to be. If you are called to be a teacher, that is wonderful, and I'm so grateful for my 4 years in the classroom. But I know that this is where I need to be. And I love being able to see the other side of education and working with districts in a different way. So again, I love education. I'm making this video for anyone that's maybe in the same boat as me, where I felt like I couldn't do it, that I couldn't leave. But at the end of the day, this is where I need to be. And I'm so happy with my decision. Anyways, if you are interested in all things vlogs or education or just chit chats, please hit subscribe down below, and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye.